What is up, YouTube land? You see him on the screen right now. It's MM, aka Majora's Mask, but we're playing a special version, which Trevor will tell us more about, because I just sat down 1 minute ago. Look at that. Look at that glorious graphics.
Yeah, this is the recompiled, came out, I think, later last year, maybe early this year. But it's basically, it's not a full decomp like Ocarina of Time got, but it's a very much more optimized version. Runs at native FPS, or 60 FPS, and native widescreen and stuff.
No.
And you can mod it,
Ooh.
and there's some really, really, really nice stuff in here.
Like quality of life kind of stuff.
Specifically, I can fast forward to any hour I want, which makes this LP possible.
Right.
That's the reason why, like, for the longest time I was like, oh man, if I do like a Majora's Mask LP, I'm gonna have to like make extensive notes and like play perfectly to make this LP not boring. But now I can just skip to any hour I want. It makes it so much easier.
So folks, here's your opportunity right now to type down below, he is late cheating! Well, here's the deal. Otherwise, we could just sit there for minutes at a time and let the time pass naturally, or play the song of whatever.
So honestly, replaying this game again, it's been a little bit for me, because this is not the easiest pick up and play game for me.
No.
Especially for Zelda. But honestly, while I was playing this, I think this might be my favorite game. It's not the best game. Like, if I had a favorite game...
Are you talking Zelda, or...?
My favorite game, like, ever made.
Dang.
There's games that I definitely view as better objectively, like Mega Man 10 is, or Mega Man X is a like 10 out of 10. But Majora's Mask is such like a perfect combination of like Nintendo magic, Zelda being as good as it can be, and like this game is just so weird. It has such good atmosphere. I mean, everyone has said it a billion times on YouTube before, but this game is like such a specific time period and project for Nintendo that they will never do ever again.
I mean, it's true. If you think about it, coming off of Ocarina of Time, they really, really easily could have... You better call it. You better call it.
Of course.
Whew, I was scared there for a second. By the way, I have Ferris doing this now, too. When he names characters, they gotta be named John.
That's awesome.
That's what we named the character in Doki Doki Literature Club. So they're like, ooh, Jadu! Come to the club!
It's just the perfect name.
Anyway, so it's like 1998, Ocarina of Time sold so well, right? Ridiculous. Just amazing for Nintendo. And they could have just came out and been like, essentially Ocarina of Time 2, and been like, it's literally the same thing. Now, they did use a lot of the same, what would you call it? Like, the same parts that they made.
The assets.
The assets.
So actually, in the pre-production period for an Ocarina of Time sequel or re-release, they were actually thinking about making an Ocarina of Time 64DD release, where they like remix the dungeons and stuff like that.
Oh, like Master Quest.
Yeah. So they were thinking about doing that, but it was ultimately scrapped, mostly because the 64DD was a tremendous flop. But Majora's Mask is like such a strange, interesting game, because Ocarina of Time's development was arduous for Nintendo. It was like their most complicated project. It took them years and years. The beta footage they just showed looks nothing like the final project, so it probably got revamped and heavily altered in the middle of development. It was during the period of like, you know, the early years of 3D, and they really had to knock it out of the park on the first try. And Ocarina of Time. I know I like Majora's Mask better, but Ocarina of Time is also a 10 out of 10 to me. It's an amazing game. I don't think it's overrated at all. But they just took everything from Ocarina of Time. They reused all the assets, recycled the same like engine. Obviously they modified it and stuff, but like they just did it so perfectly where they could cut down development time and reusing a bunch of stuff, but then make such an interesting experimental world and story. I love this game.
And also, Ocarina of Time, I forget exactly when it came out in 98. I think it was later in the year. For this game to come out essentially 2 years later, even with a lot of the same assets, is like
It only had an 18-month
ridiculous
period, and
Absolutely
obviously there's
ridiculous.
like in an 18-month period, it's like not all of that's going to be development time because there's like pre-production and like planning of what they're even going to do. They have to like, you know, make designs and like have an idea of even what to do in the first place. So I bet this game was like cranked out in less than a year of actual development time.
That's insane to me. Skull Kid.
And one of the very few direct sequels in the Zelda series. Although I guess they're not that rare anymore, because Phantom Hourglass is one, Tears of the Kingdom is one, Majora's Mask is one, Zelda 2 is one, so they're not like super uncommon anymore. But up to this point, I think it was like this and Zelda 2, that was it.
Yeah. Is Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, is it the same Link, or is it one of those like 100 years later kind of things?
Phantom Hourglass is definitely the same Link from Wind Waker, but Spirit Tracks is definitely not.
Oh, right. Okay, I forgot about that, yeah. Because I was thinking, like, well, Link Between Worlds, you could kind of say is a sequel to Link to the Past. I know it's a different Link.
Yeah, it's like reason. I don't see it as like a sequel, though.
Look at how this runs!
Yeah, it looks so good. And honestly, I would say that N64 aesthetics, like, obviously they're super low poly, but I really like them, especially the lighting. There's something about the lighting in N64 games that is so nice and so moody that when you just take it and make it, like... I like playing on original hardware when I can, but specifically, like, N64 and, like, some of the early 3D times, playing on original N64 hardware is a struggle. This game runs at like 20 FPS whiff drops. It's like not as bad as like Banjo-Tooie. Like Banjo-Tooie like runs at like a PowerPoint. But this game on original hardware is not super fun.
Epona! This game's also, along with Twilight Princess, like the darkest Zelda games. And I mean, obviously, just like the whole moon just hanging over is so iconic.
Yeah. This game is genuinely like thought-provoking and dark in a way that doesn't feel like it's forced. Twilight Princess, all the darkness is like, it just felt so tacked on. It felt like they didn't want to do it, but they're just like, we have to make the gritty, mature Zelda, so we're just going to add all this nonsense. Twilight Princess, we did a full LP of that game, lads, if you want to watch it. We did it a million years ago, so it probably sucks, but...
It was okay.
Twilight Princess is a game that is good because it's wearing the skin of Ocarina of Time. I mean, everyone has said it a million times, but Twilight Princess is good just because Ocarina of Time is good. But it's just a clone. It's just a rehash. Whereas this game is literally a clone of Ocarina of Time, but is way better. It has so much more charm. It has so much more nuance. I don't know. It's just unfortunate that, not to say that new Nintendo sucks, because I think they're getting out of the period of them being like super safe and sanitized. But it still feels like they're never going to make a game like this ever again.
Well, they had a period when the Switch first came out where they took a ton of chances.
Like this period, and then early GameCube was really their experimental period.
Yeah.
And sometimes it worked. Like, I think this game, it really works, but like stuff like Super Mario Sunshine, it did not work. I know people love that game. Sometimes.
I like it. It has its faults.
I like it, but it's definitely the most flawed like Mario game.
I think if I'm gonna casually play it, I really enjoy it. If you were like, you have to 100% it, I would be like, please don't make me 100% it.
And like Wind Waker also is like, they were obviously experimenting a lot with that one, but that one is like,
but
objectively half finished. Just kind of, it's fine.
But also, Mario Sunshine has like top tier of all time, like environment and like comfiness.
Yeah.
So that'll always give me extra points. Just like when we get to it's called Clocktown, right?
Yeah.
When we get to Clocktown, it's so comfy. I also really like the mountain when there's no snow. I forget what they call it, Snowhead or Snowden or something like it.
Snow Peak?
Snow Peak. I don't 100%. Really like the swamp where you go with the Deku stuff. That's kind of forgettable for me. I don't really end up going there, too often again, but Clocktown alone makes up for all of it.
Yeah, the swamp is definitely the weakest area, but it's nice that it's the first area, so you just get it over with.
Couples mask when? Right now?
Actually, this part we're going to be doing the first part of Banjo Cafe quest, but we cannot get the couples mask until we get the hookshot. So, a while from now. We're actually doing the first part because you have to do it twice. Basically the entire quest twice, because you have a chance of... one of the last items you get is the priority mail, and you have the choice between giving it to the postman to get the postman hat, or to give it directly to Cafe's mom to get the one of the 6 bottles, and you cannot do both. You have to do it separately on 2 cycles.
Listen, once we get to the... Is that the name of the guy in the couple cafe or whatever?
Anjun Cafe, yeah.
It goes to show you, boys. If you little under 6 feet, 5'10", 5'6", something like that.
He's like 4'1".
You could still get the girl, man. He's a manlet as heck, and what's her name? Andrew is like a foot taller than him, and she's like, Kaju! And he's like, heh.
Would Ash still love you if you turned into a 11-year-old again?
Well, no, but she has specifically told me that if I was like much shorter, it would be a deal breaker. And
that's what happens at Cafe. He gets turned into
yeah. I mean, that's there are certain things like that in life, like I don't know, like if you if you have a significant other, YouTube land, ask them, if I gained 300 pounds, would that be a deal breaker? And I'm sure they'd be like, yeah. That's...
If they say no, they're lying.
I would literally have to wipe
nice,
your butt or something like that. Like, come on, you know what I mean? So... There's certain things where, like, they can't be helped. Like, if it was, like, if you lost a leg in an accident, and they were like, GG's, I'm leaving, like, that's pretty crappy. But if it was, like, slowly over time, you just gain 300 pounds, it'd be like, hey... Can we try to lose this weight?
Yeah.
Because it's
definitely to a point.
I like to go do things, and also I don't want to buy 2 airplane seats every time we go flying.
Yeah.
So, you ready for it? Here we go. Here we go, boys. Man, that's just all. Like, so much in this game is so iconic.
Yeah,
Dawn of the first day.
The title drops for the day transitions just so iconic, so provoking. It's just so masterfully done.
Do you know who wouldn't like it? AVGN. Because you remember the Castlevania.
Didn't he do it? Majora's Mask.
He did. I wonder if he mentioned.
I never watched it because I just find that all his new stuff is.
Because you know the Castlevania 2 thing where it's the horrible night is what a horrible night to have a curse. And it just pops up. The same thing does happen in this game, although they give you a big heads up. Because doesn't the screen physically get smaller to start letting you know that, like,
when
time is changing?
When it's night into the next day.
Hey, there he is.
He
had the Keaton mask. I remember things. Yeah, this is literally the first thing everyone does is go to start to get those.
Well, okay, so talking about first cycle, it's one of the more infamous parts about this game. It's cool. I hesitate to even say it's cool in the first playthrough. It is something that they did to get you into the world, to get accustomed to it, and also feel helpless, because as a Deku scrub, you can't even leave Clock Tower.
Right.
Clock Town. And there's really not much to do. You get the Bomber's Notebook, you get the Moon's Tear, you exchange the Moon Tears for the Land Deed to get access to the Clock Tower. That's all you do. Luckily, once you know what you're doing, you can skip like 60 hours of this, so we don't have to like wait around forever before we have the ocarina back. But it's one of those things that, especially on repeat playthroughs, is a drag, even with skipping 60 hours. And on the first playthrough, it just feels like they give you nothing to do. Like, 72 hours in normal time isn't like that short of a time. I want to say it's probably like 30 minutes or something like that. Probably more like an hour. But, like, they want you to just go around and talk to people and figure out what to do. And they make it pretty obvious, like, Tattle tells you immediately that to go to the Great Fairy, and then you'll go to the Great Fairy and be like, oh crap, it's into Stray Fairy parts. And then you look around, and then you eventually you're gonna find the Stray Fairy somewhere, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go back, get the magic. But then it's not super obvious what to do after that. You have to break the Majora balloon, but I think the first cycle could have been just a little bit more,
Well, I mean, the balloon is right outside.
It is right outside.
And the kid is literally hitting it with, like, spitballs or whatever. Wait, why can't ZFG play this on 60 FPS? Can you, like, not do certain moves?
It's just, he's gonna get used to it, and it's gonna affect him playing it normally.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know if you physically can't do, like a bomb chew glitch or something like that.
It's mostly, like, if he goes back to 20 FPS, he's going to deteriorate his skill.
That's fair.
But for me, playing this at this frame rate, so nice. It's so nice looking.
There was speaking really quickly of Twitch stuff, there's a Twitch streamer called Connor Cordelum. Have you ever heard him? Heard of him? Excuse me. He does very, very long JRPG things. He's pretty famous for doing FF8 100% runs, and he's doing something called like the trifecta or the triple, whatever, something like that, where it's Xenogears 100%, FF8 100%, and Chrono Cross 100%, all in one run. So it's like, he's like 75 hours in. Now he like takes power naps and stuff, but the guy is absolutely insane. I checked it earlier and he's like 6 hours into Chrono Cross 100%. And I guarantee when I get done with this, he will still be doing that run. And I'm like, that is crazy.
Talk about really long runs. I just finished watching Worcester's new Pokemon Stadium 2 complete the game speed run, which is 16 hours long. Obviously, I watched it over like a course of like 2 weeks in like the mornings or whatever.
Right.
But
is he still fairly popular, Worcester? Well, I mean, with the popularity of Pokemon, maybe.
Yeah, he's kind of popular compared to other guys like Gunner Maniac and stuff. He's pales in comparison, but
really, I don't think Gunner Maniac doesn't seem that popular.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, he has like 150 subs on 150,000 subs on YouTube.
Okay.
But it feels like, I mean, I watched like the new one, it was like 7 months old, and it only had like 30k views, so it's not like that popular.
Okay. Got it. I like watching Gunner Maniac ones. He's a little dry, but with Pokemon, I'd rather they like explain what's going on, because I don't get it.
That's definitely one of the things about Worcester, where he intentionally does not really do that because he just finds it annoying. So he's never going to be like super popular as like a normie streamer.
Yeah. So you would have to like know. This is RNG, right?
It's complete RNG.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 1, 5.
Yep.
That's interesting. I got on one of my runs. I got so close. It was 1, 2, 3, 5, 4.
Wow.
I don't know if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is possible. Crap, what was it?
2, 3, 4, 1, 5, I'm pretty sure. 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. Can you just guess it? Or do you have to?
You can guess it, but it's... What is that? 5 times 4 times 3 times 2? That'd take a long time.
Yeah. 5 factorial. Wink, wink. Do the hand. Oh.
I'll do the hand later. We're gonna skip time with listening to Andrew's grandmother tells a story.
This is literally when you work in retail, this is every customer when you like have something to do or you want to like close up for the night, and then someone comes in 5 minutes before and they're like, "Let Grandma tell you a story," and you're like, "I'd like to go home to my family, please," and they're like, "Well, just listen." Every retail worker.
Time, literally today. I gotta watch this Saturn video to pick up this Saturn game.
That's based beyond belief.
It's fine. It just
not at like 550.
555.
Yeah. Nope. I get it. I do not remember what the thing is, by the way. I think it's 2, 3, 4, 1, 5.
Yeah. Alright, so that's how we skip 60 hours of this. So we just have to wait around for 6 hours. But I still have to go down and get the Moon's Tear and come back, so we'll pretty much be right on time. Kind of cool, this Scarecrow gives you hints about like the inverted Song of Time and the Song of Double Time, so they're not completely like, you know, like guide bait.
That's cool. The,
yeah, like right here is just telling you how to manipulate time. No.
That's too bad. My, I've I don't want to say perfected, but I've upped my game for when customers like come in like 5 minutes before close. What I'll almost always say to them is, Hey folks, how you doing? I'm sure you saw we close in 5 minutes, but if you need anything at all, just let me know. I'll be right over here closing up. Which tells them 5 minutes. Tells them, I know, 3415, I think. Awesome. And also tells them that I'm going to be over there closing up. Meaning that I'm closing up, and please... Sometimes if they come in like 1 minute before close, I'm like, is there anything absolutely specific you're looking for? No, just looking. Cool. Well, that's not going to be a thing then. Do you remember this isn't going to give anything away because I don't even know his real name. But do you remember Russian comic guy?
I do, yeah.
That we've had one in our
he hasn't come in
our 15 years.
Right?
Well, I think he moved to like Florida.
Oh, okay.
I saw him once, and he was like, "I live in Florida now." And it's funny because he was like such a weird customer. He would always just tell these like just straight up lies that like really made no sense. Like I'm like, what? It wasn't even to like impress us. Sometimes people will tell like little fibs to like impress us. But it was just like weird stuff that I'm like, I don't know what you're
This is a cool thing. So if you watch Skull Kid on day one, he's like a lot more rambunctious. Like he like literally slaps his butt at you to just mock you. But as the days progress, he gets more and more corrupted by Majora's Mask. So like now like he is just staring at us like with a crooked head, and he doesn't like jump off because this is day 3. So he'll just stay there just looking at you. You can still see him doing it.
That's so cool.
And honestly, I never knew that because I would always just do all this stuff in first day.
Yeah, just get it done with. So, just to finish off, we've had one customer who, like, in 15 years, every time I'm like, hey guys, just let you know we're closing in 5 minutes, they're always like, oh, okay. You know, or like, oh yeah, I just need this one thing. But that was one guy who, like, legitimately multiple times, like probably, I don't know, a dozen times, I would be like, we're closing up in 5, and he'd be like, okay. And then I would come back like 2 minutes before him, like 2-minute warning, and he would go, okay. And then it'd be 8, and I'd be like, we're closed. And he would be like, okay. And he would just stand there, and he would keep looking, and I was like, I don't, what? And like I would be like, no, I'm like literally closed, like I have to go home. And he was like, okay, cool. And he would just keep looking, and I was like, I never understood that. That blew me away. He's the only person ever where I was like, hey, we're closing up. That he was just like, sure, like he understood me. He understood the words that were coming out of my mouth. He said, okay, sounds good. And then he would keep looking. And I was like, it still blows me away. 10 years later, of like, what?
That reminds me of about 2 or 3 months ago on a Sunday. There was a guy who came in with a bunch of stuff, like legitimately it was $5.55 on a Sunday. But it was all good stuff, so I just had to take it. But I was like, pretty legitimately mad. And I like did the thing, but like I was obviously like not happy with it. And he came in just like 2 weeks ago. He was like, hey, remember me? Remember how like upset you were last time I was here? I was like, man, you gotta remember that I've been here all day. I'm just waiting to leave. And like
Did he call ahead of time and be like,
no,
I'm gonna
he
be
didn't.
yeah,
he
so that's
and he wasn't like mad about it. He's like one of those like he's one of those Ready people that is mostly, he's not
from Reddit.
He's not fully there.
Yeah.
And it's just like one of those things where I had to like explain to him. I was like, you got to understand, like you gave me an hour of work. I had to stay here for an extra 45 minutes to do this stuff, so Spencer didn't have to do a bunch of stuff the next morning. And it's just like the fact that I'm here all day and then you give me another million hours of work to do. It's like, I think it's completely reasonable.
Oh, I would have passed on it. My thing is like, literally, I don't even care if it's good stuff. Like if they called, or even if I pre-quoted them, like that's annoying. Like, but like even if I pre-quoted them, whatever. What are you trying to get on?
I'm going to see if I can do the toilet hand right now. I just thought of this right now. Because we don't need this land deed at all.
But anyway,
I have to go up this way because the front door is locked.
If someone just rolls in like 5 minutes beforehand, and it means that I'm going to be super late,
the toilet hand's literally not here,
or have to come in super early, and it's like if they called ahead of time, which I would have said don't come in, right? But just rolling in, that's like going to like a restaurant 5 minutes before they close and be like, what's something that takes forever? Like I'd like duck l'orange or something like that. Like not even like sometimes if like
just like any meat thing.
Sometimes if me and Ash realized that like we would be like kind of within the last 30 minutes of a place, I would usually ask him like, what's really simple to make, or what's something you have made already. You know what I mean? So you just bring it out and I'm good, right? Because it's already annoying. I know they're annoyed. The waiters are annoyed. Everyone's annoyed. But it's like, do you guys have like a stew already made, like, or whatever, like whatever you have already made, just bring it in, you know, whatever. I'm fine with that. But that's or like a souffle, like some like, you know, something like that, or like that takes time and patience. It's like, I want this souffle. I know you close in 2 minutes, and I know it takes 30 minutes to make. And the crazy thing is, most managers would be like, make it. We need the sale. Da da da. Because most managers suck butt. Sorry, middle managers. I know. Oh, we just lost like 100 subs because they're all middle managers. Because they're watching at work instead of actually working. No! You can't hate on the poor middle managers.
For the longest time, I never knew how to pronounce Tattle's name because it's spelled T-A-T-L, just kind of weird. And then, just like this playthrough, I was like, oh, the naming scheme is literally just Tattletale. That's what they're doing.
Oh. I think I might have said Tatil. Maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely Tattletale.
Just try to stop it. This is probably a stupid question, but like, do they go over like who Majora is and like...
The Happy Mask Salesman goes over it when we reverse time.
Okay.
There'll be more backstory about it.
Because that is something I kind of forget.
They don't go over like what Majora is. They just explain that Majora's Mask was like part of some old civilization's hexing rituals or something, and it caused a bunch of trouble. So
fair. I mean, that's all you really
It's pretty basic.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why Legend of Zelda is such a... there's two reasons for why Zelda can be kind of a very formulaic, kind of repetitive series. And I think it comes down to just the name of the games. It's called The Legend of Zelda, so you gotta have Zelda in it. But Zelda isn't the main character, so you gotta have Link. And I guess they just want to be like, okay, antagonistic force just gotta be Ganon. Like, 99% of Zelda games, antagonistic force is Ganon.
Oh yeah, I was actually about to say based Oracle of Ages and Seasons, but when you beat both games, the final boss is literally Ganon, yeah. So...
Now, there's some games that I'm not 100%. I don't think Ganon is in Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks, but those are, you know...
Not fast enough.
And then the other one is just, I think Nintendo just doesn't really care. Even, like, nowadays, they do stuff that make people mad, which I think is kind of funny, because I think people that obsess over, like, Zelda lore are kind of obnoxious. But one of the sticking points with Tears of the Kingdom in terms of lore is that people always wondered where all the old Sheikah, like, Guardian statues go between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because they all disappear. Except for, like, one of the, like, dilapidated ones near, like, as, like, a headdress for a building in, like, a town. And they're like, Nintendo, where did all these come from? And Nintendo's just like, they just disappeared.
Tears of the Kingdom is